Welcome to another episode of Inside Recreation, where we talk about all the great things happening here at Montgomery County Recreation. I'm your host, Carmen Berrios Martinez, and this is a really special episode of our podcast because we have none other than Robin Riley, the director of Montgomery County Recreation, joining us. Robin, you were on our very first episode. That one was audio only, so this is our first on-camera episode. Big day. But there is a really special reason why we have you on the podcast today, other than, of course, we love listening to all the great things that you have to say about recreation. Tell us why we're here.
Well, we're here because after a long career, I've decided to retire. So I'm going to be retiring on May 30th and taking on a new venture for myself starting this summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, some of us, it's a very bittersweet moment for many of us, but we are really happy for you. But you say after a long career, 42 years with the department, you started with us as a seasonal employee in 1981.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us a little bit about kind of your initial passions, right? How did you get into recreation?
Great question. I started in recreation. I began teaching. I was a physical education major at the University of Maryland. I had a good friend who was actually working here as a seasonal, and I had gone to school with her at the University of Maryland. She got the opportunity to be a career position here. But quickly she took a job in Howard County Parks and Rec. And she called me and said, I know you're not thrilled with teaching right now. Maybe you'd want to come back over and work for Montgomery County. And so I did. It was a great opportunity. So I took advantage of it. And here I am today.
Yeah. And so what is it about that role that kind of made it stick, right?
Yeah, I think for me, it was a variety. It gave me, even as a seasonal and as I moved through my career, the opportunity to do a lot of different things, not that teaching isn't wonderful and a really amazing profession. With recreation, you get a chance to taste lots of different things, whether it's arts or music or sports, special events. I mean, the list just goes on and all the things that we do and bring to our community. So that was the hook for me.
And so what was it about, or how was it that in recreation you kind of moved, within those positions and said, okay, I'm going to make a career out of this here?
It took a little convincing by some really great leaders that I worked with for a long time because I was a physical education major. I worked in sports for many, many years. I was a rec specialist doing both adult and youth sports. In countywide programs. That's where it sort of began for me, and I loved it, and it was a passion for me. So I kind of stayed there, but it still gave me, even working in that arena, gave me an opportunity to still do other things. I could work, 4th of July. Back then we had lots of community events that we were working, and it gave me a chance to try all those things. And eventually some of the leadership recognized my passion, I'll use that word, or my energy around working for the department, and gave me the opportunity and the encouragement to try different things. So I moved into special events. And then from there, the path just went different directions with just opportunities at each one.
So your path has had a number of awards and recognitions for, the work that you've done in the field of recreation. Tell me, I know you don't like talking about yourself, right? I know it's really hard. You're probably really uncomfortable right now, but tell me about some of those that kind of stick out and mean the most to you.
I think for me, any of the awards that I was able to be recognized for are not for me. It's for our department and the work we do. I don't do anything individually or independently. We are a team from start to finish. And so I value all the work that our entire department has done and the recognition that we get in doing that work. And we've been pretty phenomenal receiving a total crazy number of NACO awards, MRPA awards, NRPA awards. And so that journey is not taken alone. It's always taken with a team, a large group of people. And I'm super proud of the work that our team does each and every day.
So recreation in 1981 probably looked a little bit different than it does today. Tell us about some of that shift that you've seen in the field of recreation, not just in this department.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part. I think our team has really embraced the opportunity to stay with the trends and be creative. And it's okay to try something new. And if it doesn't go, you switch it up and do it differently the next time. And I think that's true from the time from the 80s, 90s, and then today. We've just stayed with the trends. We've stayed with what our community demographics are. Obviously, Montgomery County demographics have changed dramatically and continue to change. So we're really great at reaching those cultural communities. Our senior population is booming, no pun intended, as a senior going into retirement. I think we've done a lot to reach that community and really support them. And our youth, that's been our two largest areas of growth. Our out-of-school time and youth development programs and our senior programs, and then everything in between for families, whether it's, a yoga class or cooking class or summer camps.
So you guys weren't doing pickleball in 1981.
No, we were not doing pickleball. Tennis was the phenomena then.
Tennis, ping pong, right? Now we've just
badminton, but now pickleball is a whole new thing, a whole new world for all of us.
It is. But that's the great thing about recreation, right? And it's kind of what keeps your job, right, so fresh, in that you're always doing something different.
Right. Exactly, for sure.
So recreation plays a really important role, not just for, those of us who are employed by the department, but for the community itself, really. And everything we do is focused on the community. Why is recreation so important?
It's important because recreation is more than recreation. It is the connections that happen as a result of that. So when residents come to our facilities, and we've made a great transition since COVID, especially around the word of community recreation center. We're starting to build new relationships with people who visit our buildings. When they came for COVID testing or vaccines, we built relationships with people that we might not otherwise have seen. And when you come to a rec center, community center, for a class or an activity, regardless of what it is, fitness room, sports program, a senior program, you're making connections, you're moving, you're staying healthy, but you're building relationships. Many of our seniors I've had the opportunity to connect with. It is critical to them to come to a senior center, to be there from 9 to 3, not only to get a hot meal, but also to connect with friends. They build relationships that are in value to them and help them stay connected socially.
And our young people in that same way, right?
Absolutely.
We talk about our staff as role models, right? And it goes right back to those connections that you were talking about.
Absolutely. The love and attention of a caring adult in an after-school program or at a rec center front desk, where a seasonal staff, who are the backbone of what we do sometimes, make those connections with a young person. It keeps them in a safe place, keeps them connected and engaged in a positive way.
When you've worked somewhere for 41 years, you've got to have some really good stories or memories that just kind of stick with you. What are some of those?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I think going back in the beginning, softball, not pickleball. Softball was really hot and heavy in those days. At one point, I think we had 1,500 adult softball teams. We had the fortune of being able to host several national tournaments, which was really interesting and fun to have people travel from other states to come here and play and participate. And it was a challenging time, but a really fun time. So those were great memories. I think, during COVID, our team was so resilient and so nimble. They understood that they needed to provide help to our community. And so we made a pivot. While we weren't open for recreation at that time, they changed and worked as testing sites. They worked 311. We delivered meals to seniors. We just pivoted and did so many cool things that I'll never forget. Those are really important pieces. I think, as the days go on and the work that we do is so impactful, whether it's our staff building relationships with seniors or for the youth that we just talked about, I think those are important memories for me. Yeah, I think we do a lot of great things, and I'm really proud of all the work we do. There's too many to narrow down to one or two.
Yeah. So What are some of the lessons that you kind of take away from all of your years here that you would want to leave with those of us who will still be here the following week when you get to sleep in?
Yeah, nice. I think the lessons are being taught by you guys, my team. You're the team that we have now each and every day. I mean, I learned so much from the work that we do in the community. I think just keep doing the great work that we're doing, making an impact to the community, connecting with people, sharing our stories. A lot of our untold stories that people don't know. We're not just yoga and basketball and things. We do a lot of things. Food distribution, the list goes on. So I think those are impactful, and making a difference in our community is what we're really good at.
Yeah, no, you mentioned, right, all of those untold stories about the department. And I think when employees first start here, right, they have no idea really.
Right.
And the community doesn't sometimes know some of those things that we do, whether it's keeping elections, right, going by being election sites or shelters when power goes out or we have major emergencies in the county, right? This department is really that go-to department to fill needs in the county. And so our staff does so much more than just leagues and sports, right? Which are all important. But we really do become that community connector.
Absolutely.
And that piece is extremely important. I wanted to say, I think one of the things that will stick with me the longest about your leadership here was your role in our Free for 23, which is our free rec membership passes. After COVID, we realized how important it was to get people back out of the houses and into our community centers for more than just working out, right? The working out was important, but it's those social connections and emotional connections that you talked about. And you really kind of stepped out there by yourself and said, we really need to make this available to everyone. We need to remove the barriers. And we know that money and the financial situations that many of us were in after COVID was a huge barrier. And so you went to the county executive, who luckily was very supportive, right? As was the council, but you really led that initiative. Why was it so important for you to do that?
I think you just nailed it. You just talked about it, why it's important. I mean, I think coming out of COVID, we had so many families and adults and youth and that were really struggling financially, and having a dollar be a barrier to having access to something that would otherwise just sit there and not be utilized was silly. It needed to change, and we were very fortunate to be very supported in that all the way up to the county executive. He came out to the fitness rooms and talked with me about it, and he saw the impact that it was making and what a difference it made to see where suddenly our fitness rooms are full and engaged from every cultural group to every age. It's exciting to see people taking advantage and utilizing it and helping Montgomery County stay one of the healthiest in the area, in the nation. So I think that's a powerful statement. And it wasn't necessarily me. I mean, it was all of us putting it together and really supporting the work. And it's making a difference.
It absolutely is. And, we get calls from other jurisdictions in the area and across the country who go, how did you do this? Right. And the answer often is you have to go and kind of take the initiative. Right. But it has paid off in other ways. Right. Like you said, more people are coming into our facilities. So they are finding out about other programs that maybe they didn't know about before. Right. They are making connections and living healthier lives. And so that is obviously something that helps this county out as well. Robin, as we wrap up our time here, what do you remember take away from your time with us, right? As you sit on the beach and read a good book and you're thinking about your time here, right? What are those memories that you're going to be thinking about?
I think just being very proud of the work that this department continues to do each day, each night, each weekend, each holiday. We're difference makers, and being a difference maker is powerful work. Changing the dynamics of a community and being supportive in every way is really powerful. And every one of our staff, from our seasonals to our career to folks like me that have been around for a long time, should be very proud of that work. And that's what I reflect on.
Absolutely. You are by far a difference maker, for not just our community, but for many of us here in the department, right? You have provided great leadership and many opportunities for a lot of us, me included. And so I know I am not alone when I say that as much as we are happy for you and wish you well, we will definitely miss you here. And hopefully the next generation of leadership here in this department can kind of take your example and move forward with that as we continue to do good work in this community. So thank you for a lifetime of service to this department and to this community. You have made a difference for many, many of us.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm just very proud of having the opportunity to have this position and be a part of this great team.
Awesome.
Thank
Guys, that's it for this episode of Inside Recreation. We hope you join us next time. See you then.
This podcast is brought to you by County Cable Montgomery, your source for news and information from the Montgomery County government. Connect with us via cable, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube by searching for County Cable MoCo.